One of my original children's books was Attitude Stew. And when I originally wrote this book, it was for kids, but it's really applicable to every person on the planet. Did you know that Proverbs 4:23 admonishes us to be careful how you think? Your life is shaped by your thoughts. In fact, some clips from the book, it's the thoughts that you choose that matter a lot. So take a look for a moment at what's in your think pot. As it's stirring around, as it's cooking and brewing, just what will come out when the stew is done brewing. There are two chefs in your head, and what are they doing? Well, they're throwing thoughts in that think stew that's cooking and brewing. Now, Chef Paul, he's not tall. He's a short little fellow with a hat that's yellow, and he's got all this good stuff that's yummy and tasty. He chooses quite well now. He's patient, not hasty. He's kind and politeful, and never is he spiteful. His ingredients you'll find really most delightful. But old Chef McGrump, he's angry and nasty. He's selfish and sassy. He lives in Miami, but he's from Tallahassee, and he now lives in your head part-time. And you'd better watch out, because when you're not a-looking, he'll throw nasty thoughts in your think stew that's cooking, like selfish shellfish, and a can of I can't, a chunk of I doubt, and a stem of pout sprout. Our thoughts are indeed really powerful, and your thoughts are just that. They are your thoughts. They're nobody else's thoughts. I know it's really not so profound, but it's incredibly important to own what you think. And just because something landed in your head doesn't mean it ought to stay there. In fact, one part of that book says, reach in your think stew and throw those ones out. Like that I can't and like the I pout. Throw out the grumpy, the grouchy, the mad, and the sad. Keep the thankful, the grateful, the happy, and glad. You're the stew master, the brew master. You're the thinker of your thoughts. You're the keeper of your think stew, the connector of your thoughts. And it's the stew that you've chewed that'll work its way out. Like the thoughts that you think, they become what you're all about. The more that you eat, you become like the stew. Is the stew just like you, or are you just like the stew? You and your thoughts and you. We are, in fact, the sum total of our thoughts. And in the end, it all becomes this inseparable mass of thoughts, which become beliefs, which translate to values and lead to our actions. It's a fact. Our lives move in the direction of our strongest thoughts. 2 Corinthians 10:5 instructs us to take every thought captive. In fact, if you don't take every thought captive, you just may find yourself taken captive by every thought, or maybe not, maybe just the few that got away. Now imagine trying to take thoughts captive if you don't know the truth. And if you don't know the truth, you'll be very susceptible to lies. In fact, if you come to my office, I do my best to read books, and those books give me a continual flow of truth and awareness of such a variety of topics. But it's especially important to read the Bible. You cannot dispel darkness without light, and you cannot drive out lies but with truth. Bottom line, be very intentional about the thoughts you choose. And hey, did you know that this book, Attitude Stew, was endorsed by Dr. Ben Carson, Dr. John Maxwell, Joyce Meyer, Coach Tom Mullins, and others? So I recommend that you read this, but as a man thinketh. I'd also really recommend for all of you adults out there, read this book. It's my goal to read this book once a year. It's very thin, it's a very easy read, published in 1864 and one of the best-selling books of all time. If you'd like a copy of Attitude Stew or any of my other children's books, including this book, Where Are You Now?, which just arrived yesterday and I believe is number 9. Number 10 is in the works. They're available for just $10 each. You can find them on the Hog store at thehog.com. Click on the upper right-hand corner and it's easy to find them from there. And while you're reading your Attitude Stew books to your kids, I'll be preparing to see you on the next HOG Cast.